All right.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to another live stream from our YouTube channel. We are your hosts of the OddsJam YouTube live streams on NFL Sundays and primetime games. I'm the Parlay Doc, aka Andrew Kim. I guess I got that reversed. And here with me is Matt, aka Jedi Modi. How's it going, Matt?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm Jedi Moda, aka Matt, also known as my legal name, Matt.
Exactly. Yeah, how's it going, man? How have you been? Haven't talked to you in a bit.
Yeah, no, it has been a while. I'm good. I got out for me and my girlfriend stayed overnight at some place kind of in the mountains on Friday night and then spent all day in the mountains yesterday. Got back last night. So nice break from the real world and all that stuff. We were able to bring the dogs, dog friendly Airbnb. So I'm doing well. I'm feeling refreshed, recharged, ready for some NFL action.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I was in it real deep yesterday. I think watching it was a pretty big UFC pay-per-view card, and even the undercard was pretty big for prelims. Like I think it really stretched from like 5:15 p.m. Central until like midnight Central time. So it was like an extravaganza of UFC fights. So I did hit a few decent ones where I did post this one if you follow me on Twitter, where my favorite bet of the day was Zhang Wei Li, the women's strawweight new champ, I guess, who took the belt from Carla Esparza. I liked her to get the finish, so I told everybody to put 2 units, a pretty heavier bet for me, and that came through. Got screwed with Israel Adesanya, though. I had a nice parlay that I posted for the people at like plus 800 something. He was the last leg, and of course, he was pretty much winning the fight like 3 rounds to 1 in my opinion, and then was messing around in the 5th where instead of just staying away to keep his belt, all he had to do was just win. He could have lost the round. He literally just had to not get knocked out, and then of course he gets trapped on the cage. Boom, just lights out KO basically. So TKO. So of course I missed by a leg. You know, I hedged a little, but probably didn't hedge in as much as I should have because I thought it was in the bag, like my cocky self. But
I think we're just the kings of getting screwed by one leg on a parlay. I feel like that's happened so many times. No matter how many legs we do, it'll lose by 1.
All right, guys. So we got NFL Sunday. The early slate's about to kick off in less than half an hour. So, decent games. I mean, I think some people have been knocking on the slate, but I think there's a few fun games that are kind of mixed in here that have at least potential on paper, at least. So let's take a look. So, before we get into individual player props, touchdowns, all that stuff, anything that jumped off the screen for you as like favorite, either money lines, spreads, over totals, anything that stood out to you, Matt? Why don't we just start with the main markets before we do props?
Yeah, there's a couple that I liked. I don't know why the Cowboys keeps getting bet down. They started, I think, at 5.5. They're all the way down to 3.5.
Yeah, they are.
I guess like the Packers are at home and they've like, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers specifically has historically killed the Cowboys. But I think we've seen enough this year that this is not the same Packers team that we're used to seeing. Those Packers teams wouldn't lose to the Jets, Giants, Commanders, and Lions in a 5-game stretch. That wouldn't happen. Yeah. So to me, I feel like the Cowboys minus 3.5 is a total gift. I haven't officially locked it in yet because I'm just like worried. Like, what am I missing here? Like, why does it keep getting bet down? It feels like a Vegas trap line, and normally I take the opposite side.
Yeah.
So I might sit it out for the sake of just not understanding why it's been bet down. But I also love the under in that game, under 44.5. Two bets that I did lock in this morning, 2 totals. Rams Cardinals under 39. Yeah. Both quarterbacks are banged up. Even if they both play, like Stafford with a concussion, Kyler Murray with the pulled hammy, doesn't make me believe that a lot of points are going to be scored. And then Jags Chiefs, I have over 50.5. I put a full unit on both of those.
Ooh, nice. No, yeah, that to me, like in the early slate, that I feel like that one has a potential to be a really fun game.
I agree.
The other one that stood out, I don't know if fun's the right word, but I think it's funny because, when I look at Football Outsiders, their algorithms, like their software seems to really like the under in the Lions Bears game. But I actually think that there could be some points in that one. Because I don't know if fun is the right word for that, where the Jags Chiefs could be fun. I think it just might be that I don't know if either defense can stop each other in the Lions Bears game, where I actually think there might be some points in that one. So
Yeah.
Those are the two that I'm kind of looking forward to. Obviously, I have a little bias because I'm a Bears fan, but I'm looking forward to the Jags Chiefs and the Lions Bears this early slate at least. So
Yeah, I did take the over in that game, the Lions Bears, and I also took it in the Dolphins Browns game, but I got them earlier in the week, and the total's been bet up to a point where I don't like it where it currently is. So I'm not going to make that an official bet because people couldn't tail that. But yeah, I think the only reason, my guess, is why Football Outsiders likes the under in that game is because I feel like both teams are probably going to run the ball to so much success that it might just be limited possessions. Is all.
yeah. I think that's the only thing. So I only did a half unit, so $55 to win 50 on the over 48.5 on Lions Bears. And I think, the Bears aren't the best at stopping the run. The Lions aren't good at stopping much of anything. So it's really more,
Rodgers.
Yeah, except for Aaron Rodgers, apparently. But I think to Matt's point, I think the biggest risk is going to be if those drives don't end up at the very least in a field goal and you come up empty, you're going to realize that 5 or 6 minutes have been killed off the clock potentially, and so
stuff's on fourth down, missed field goal. Yeah,
it is going to be a run heavy game where both sides are going to run the ball, at least in the first half, until one of the two ends up going behind and are forced to pass. So I think there's going to be a lot of running in that game, but I did take the over on that because I do think that it's not going to be like as cool as like Dolphins Bears where there was like fireworks, but I do think from sloppiness on the defensive sides of both sides that I do think it has a chance of going over. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong. But I also like the over in the Jags Chief as well, because that one legitimately could be a fun game, I think. So
yeah, I agree. So I did take a full unit on those.
Okay. All right. Any other main market ones before we talk about some players and props and stuff?
Nothing for a main market.
Okay. So I'll kick us off with a player prop that I really like, and I tweeted it out literally like 2-3 minutes ago. Was in the Giants Texans game. I don't think I'm excited for the game, but within the game itself, basically the Texans are just getting killed on the run in terms of the run. And they're like 32nd, literally maybe
32nd.
Yeah, 32nd in run defense DVOA, and we've seen what other premier running backs have been able to do. So I'm going to play the Saquon Barkley angle in two ways. Number one, I am going to take his over on rushing yards, which I know seems a little high. I think I bet it on, let me see, where did I take it at? I think on Caesars. Yeah. Okay. Over 93.5. At some places like 94 right now, like 94.5, I think. So I think Caesars had it 1 yard less than FanDuel and at like minus 117 odds. So I did take that. So over 93.5. And I know it seems steep, but I think if he gets enough touches and he might break off for a couple long runs, that may be doable. The other way that I'm playing the Saquon Barkley angle is 1 TD is too juiced. It's like minus 140-ish maybe at a lot of places, maybe even worse in some books. I'm going to play the 2 TD angle, and I do that very selectively. I don't do that a ton of times, but this is a game where I could see him getting 2 easily. So it was right before I was about to bet it. It was at a nice plus 420 where I loved it. Now, right when I was about to place it, it dropped down to plus 390. So I did sprinkle like 30, I think it was like 37, $38 to win like 150 profit. So I'm not going crazy, like 0.4 units, just under 0.4 units. So less than half a unit for me, just for some fun where I think he has the opportunity to have a big game. Or I would find it hard to believe he doesn't get an end zone once. So if you want to parlay that with, I know people love doing TD parlays. I think he's a solid piece. I could see him. The biggest risk of him not getting 1 or 2 would be Daniel Jones vulturing a couple run-ins himself, honestly. But I like Saquon Barkley having a big game today, guys.
Yeah, I'm on the same. I have this. It was on my list. Saquon Barkley over rushing yards. I actually got it at 92.5.
Oh, look at you.
So always I got it at a
good line.
I got it a yard lower. I mean, everything you said, I totally agree with. I like the angle 2 touchdowns. I hadn't looked at that one yet, but it's plus 380 on FanDuel now. So I put a half unit on it. So
it's getting smashed. Yeah. People are hitting it, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other rushing prop I had was Aaron Jones over 45.5 rushing. I admit, like, backing anything on the Packers is very scary. But like I've seen books have it all the way. Like FanDuel has it at 50.5. I got it at 45.5.
That's
So I just thought
low.
that was a good line.
Yeah.
And as good as the Cowboys defense is, the one thing they struggle with is running, like, or stopping the run, I should say. So if there's
Yeah.
any chance the Packers have to keep this close, and maybe that's why the line has been smashed down to 3.5, they just think that the Packers are going to run and control the clock.
Yeah, no,
So
I can see it. I can see
yeah,
it. And I think for people who are like, "Well, Micah Parsons, blah blah blah." Hey, man, my Bears gashed the Cowboys in the run game.
Micah Parsons is the best defender in the NFL, but he's a pass rusher. He's not. He's not
Exactly.
someone. He's not a
Not a
run
run
stuffer.
stuffer. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
the Cowboys are like, their defense is incredible, but they're very middle of the pack, specifically against the run. So that's how you can beat them.
Yeah, man, that is a low line. God, man, and that was such a frustrating. I know I was texting and
Oh my
bothering you
God.
last week, but every time they were
Ugh.
near the goal line and we needed Aaron Jones to score, of course,
He threw an
you get
interception.
interceptions, 3 interceptions in the red zone, and some of them were on the 1-yard line.
It was
Unbelievable.
horrible. Yeah. I mean, that team,
Unbelievable.
the team is totally broken. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't have it like the player props. There weren't a ton that I loved, but there were like 7 or 8 touchdown scores that I really, really liked this week. For like not necessarily all of them straight up, but in a parlay or something.
Okay, let's move. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was really Saquon Barkley is what really just stood out as like I have to take that. The only other one that I would say that I'm considering, and I may take it, is I'm looking at some Travis Etienne, props where
Yeah.
I think he has a chance to have a decent game. My only concern is, it's like, should I take it straight up with rushing or should I do just like total scrimmage yards?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking
rushing
right now.
plus receiving.
Yeah, because there's always that chance he gets some of those short passes, and that's where he might get freed up in space to actually do some damage. And it's kind of like the Dalvin Cook dilemma sometimes of, is he going to get straight up runs and those like laterals and tosses, or is he going to actually get passes? So he's sitting at like 104.5 on DraftKings for total scrimmage yards. So I don't know. It's a little high, but
it is high. But he's like their best / only source of offense.
Yes, that's the
So
that's one of the reasons I'm like I'm kind of tempted because I'm like looking at some fantasy projections like receiving, he's projected at like 19, 20. And then for rushing, he's projected at like 89. So he's right there. Like it's like 109 total combined. So I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But if you guys convince me to lay off and stay away versus take it before we end the stream, let me know because we got about 15 minutes. So
I say take it personally.
Take it? Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs defense is like, I mean, they're probably going to score a ton and they're probably going to give up a ton of, like, they're going to be up, they're going to give up a ton of yards, and ETN is their best source of offense, both rushing and receiving.
All right, I'll do a half unit. Matt didn't take much convincing, but he convinced me. All right, and on that note, and I'll be very quick here. So let's move on to touchdowns, just touchdown scores that we like. I do like ETN to just score a touchdown. So he is one I am going to take straight up, and I think
straight up.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just think he is the main option, and he's shown it ever since they got rid of Robinson that like he's going to be the guy. Let me see here. You know what? God, see, this is what happens when you wait too long. Earlier today, as early as this morning, he was at like even money. Now he's already at minus 115 on FanDuel, and he's like minus 120 on.
Yeah, he got hammered a little bit.
Man, I don't know if I love it as much now. I liked it at the even money, but I do like ETN to score. So maybe I'll parlay him in something. Maybe I'll take him straight. But I do like ETN. He's one of the ones that stood out. I like Barkley. There's not a lot of value there, so I like Barkley at 2. So those two, I like Barkley at 2 TDs. I like ETN straight up. What were some of yours? Because you sound like you had a bunch.
Yeah, a lot of them were too juiced that I would only want to put in a parlay, so we can get to those later. The ones that I like straight up, Tyreek Hill at plus 100, I thought was good. So he like Tyreek Hill's kind of having a weird. I mean, he's having an incredible year, but a weird year, and then he's on pace to break the receiving record. But he's only scored 3 touchdowns in like 8 or 9 games. So to me, I feel like touchdowns are going to come because 2 of them are in 1 game. So he scored a touchdown in only 2 games this year. To me, I think that's more of an outlier than anything that's going to like happen week over week. So I think he's due for a touchdown. I got him at plus 100. I'm not sure where it's at now. I know it's still plus 100 on FanDuel. I'm not sure if you can get it better elsewhere. But I like him a lot to score. I like Khalil Herbert as my favorite one for the Bears.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got like you would obviously be able to answer this better. I mean, Justin Fields is probably the most likely to score because he scored in 3 straight. But Khalil Herbert, I just thought was good value. I got him at like plus 195. I feel like he's better than David Montgomery. He's like more explosive, and they'll probably give him more like a screen pass in like the 20-yard line or something that he could take to the house.
Yeah,
And
I like him. I think you use the right word. I just think if I know that I just need someone to just bang it up the middle or just
it'd
like
be
get me a
Montgomery.
few, it sometimes it's just like I don't know what it is, but I feel like Herbert has more explosion for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's like to a not as it's to a lesser degree not as talented like the Zeke Tony Pollard dilemma,
Yeah,
where like Zeke's
yeah,
better giving 20 carries a game. Tony Pollard's more explosive and better with like 10 carries a game.
yeah.
Zeke's better, like Zeke / Montgomery are better short yardage. But I just like the value of Herbert.
No, I like Herbert. I think this could be a game where Herbert. It's always that dilemma. How are they going to split the touches? And like you said, is Justin Fields just going to run it in? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, everybody else, or Debo. Debo was another one. He missed his last game with the hamstring injury. Then they had the bye week, so he's 2 weeks healthy. I mean, I want pieces in that game for the 49ers against the Chargers because the Chargers defense is terrible. I got Debo at plus 130. Christian McCaffrey was like all the way like close to minus 200.
God, he is minus 200. That's worthless. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's worthless.
Minus
It's almost not
200.
even worth that in a parlay.
Jeez, man. Well, yeah, I mean, I could see him scoring. So I mean, I get it, but damn, that's
yeah, it's a lot. And I feel
that's
like
a lot.
Debo's like also kind of had like a down year. I saw like I mean, this is fantasy, but he's only been like a top 20 receiver, I think like one time. But the 49ers are kind of rolling. They're coming off a bye. They're going to need to get Debo going if they're going to want to have any hope. And the Chargers defense stinks. Like Debo can score off a screen. He can score as a running back. I just think he can score in so many different ways. So he was the other one that I liked straight up.
Nice. Okay. Let me see. Other ones I liked kind of straight up. And these are like, okay, like let me preface by saying long shots. Okay. So this is if you want like a long shot here, here's a couple ones, okay, that stood out to me. One of them is in the one of them, and this may just blow up and have no value whatsoever. But if you go look at Kyron Williams in the Rams Cardinal team, his one touchdown was plus 750 this morning. So I sprinkled on it. I don't who knows if he gets many touches or let alone any touches in the red zone. I don't know where it's at now, but I mean, this was like this morning. I mean, just because he's back and he's active, whatever. I mean, just like, and the Rams are so desperate to get anything going at this point in terms of scoring. I just figured, why not? I mean, when you're getting that much for someone who could just run it in for you, like at those odds, like I'm sure it's hammered by now once people saw that he was officially active and stuff. Yeah. So, but if you can still catch it somewhere in that range, again, it may just totally blow up and you're going to get disappointed because he's not going to get much touches or something. But with the way the Rams have been playing, I think they're looking for any spark right now to get some consistency on offense that it was worth a sprinkle. The other one,
especially if Stafford's out.
Yeah. And another one, again, guys, I would not put like a 10th 0.1 to 0.2 units, a long shot TD before we start building a parlay here with juiced ones. Tannehill is like plus I think 750, or plus 700, plus 750, and he's still there because I'm unlikely. He has one this season. I know he's coming back from an ankle, so can he even run if he wanted to? But you'll see it if you go back and look at the film. There are times, and it hasn't been successful. They've done it once. Other times he got stuffed a couple times, I think, where they'll use Derrick Henry as the decoy and he'll just run it the other direction. So maybe. But the other question is, as much as I always bash on the Broncos and they were the cause of me eating that spicy chip, they have a good defense. So can they even get to the red zone and whiff the goal line for them to run a decoy play like that? I don't know. But that's huge odds for him to just run one, gingerly in when everyone's focused on Henry and, quadruple teaming him at a goal line. The key is they have to be like 1 or 2 yards out or it's not going to work basically. But those are my two super long shot, single straight plays for long shots. Cause everyone always says like, what's your plus like 500-600 one today? These are the two that I'm going to sprinkle like $20-$30 on basically. In addition to the Saquon Barkley 2 TDs, those are my value ones. So
I mean, this one, not nearly as juiced as I thought, but I kind of liked Kadarius Toney to score for the Chiefs. with MVS out and kind of being phased out of the game regardless.
I
And
like
like
that.
one more week for Tony being in the Chiefs offense, maybe they script up a little more plays for him.
What is
Because
he
last
at?
week I think he only had like 2 touches or something. But plus 390, I'm not necessarily sure is worth it. I thought it was going to be closer to like plus 600. Then I would have been like, yeah, that's probably worth it.
Yeah,
But at plus 390,
I think on his debut game last week, he was pretty high for a single touchdown because people figured he'd have limited touches, limited packages. So they
yeah.
must have factored that in this time. Yeah. So
But I mean, that was on FanDuel. Let's see if you can get him. Yeah, that's the best odds are FanDuel at plus 390. So that's probably not worth it. But he was the only person that I had targeted for like a possible sleeper.
I don't hate it. So maybe I'll make a tiny one for that single game. Maybe I'll put like ETN and him or something like that. So
Yeah, there you go.
let's see. What would that do? Just that by itself, 700.
Those
Yeah.
two
That makes it respectable. Plus
plus
700.
715.
Yeah. You had Kelsey, you get a plus 1420. Maybe I'll just sprinkle on that right now. So Kelsey, Kadarius, and ETN right there. There you go.
Kelsey's one we were going to talk about. I love Kelsey. I like his receiving yards probably got juiced up a little too high at like 80. But I don't know if you check this, but the Jags are the literal 32nd team against guarding tight ends.
Okay, so you're telling me that I should be smashing Kelsey 3 TDs at plus 1500 is what you're saying right there.
Honestly,
in between the lines, that's kind of what I heard from you. That's
I like Kelsey 2 TDs. Yeah, why not? He hasn't scored in a little bit aside from that like 4 TD game. Yeah, why not? How
2
about,
TDs, not bad. Plus 390. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean,
how about Kelsey 2 TDs and Saquon Barkley 2 TDs?
okay, all right. Hey. Now you're
Plus
speaking
20
my language.
plus 2,200.
Okay, I'm in. Wow,
like
look
that
at that.
one.
You're speaking my language right there. Look at that.
All
Look
right,
at
so
that,
we'll
guys.
start with the juicy ones first, and then we can get with the chalk one.
Look at that. $13, and I'm putting it right now. $13.50 will nab you 304 profit, guys, right there. $13.50 donation. Got Barkley and Kelsey 2 TDs apiece. I love it, man. I love it. All
There
right.
we go.
So let's build one now with some realistic ones.
All right, so should we add? I'm assuming we're adding Barkley and Kelsey individually.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so we're doing Barkley, 1 TD. Why is it? He's getting juiced nonstop. He was minus 140 at the start of the show. Now it's minus 155. People are just hammering
People
that.
are hammering it.
Last minute hammering. God.
Tony Pollard, I feel like I almost put a unit on Tony Pollard individually because Zeke has been not officially confirmed out, but Mike McCarthy basically said he's not playing. So Tony Pollard's only minus 120 on FanDuel.
Interesting. Okay. So you want to add him? So Kelsey, Barkley, you said Pollard. Okay. So that brings us to, let's see here.
Plus 409.
Okay. All right.
Who else do you like?
I'm debating, man, in that Bears Lions game. I'm thinking, is it going to be Williams? Is it going to be Swift? Just makes me nervous just because he's still coming back and he's not fully healthy yet. So it's like Williams or Justin Fields. Fields to run one in maybe, but
Fields I like. I feel like the most likely is probably Jamal Williams because he's their goal line back. And he's like had a really good year.
Why don't we do that then? That already brings it up to plus 900.
He has 8 touchdowns on the year.
So plus 919 with those 4.
That's pretty good. That's better than I thought.
Let's see here. Who else?
And I want to see if we add like McCaffrey's like so juiced, adds it to plus 1,500 almost, plus 1,428 if we just add McCaffrey.
Well, they're going to score in bunches against the Chargers, in my opinion. So one of those guys is going to score.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, honestly, to almost get like a 50% boost essentially by adding a minus 200. Okay. Plus 1428. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Good. Okay. I'm in. I'm sold.
I locked it in as well.
All right. Locking it in right now. So I would like to win. I'm going to win $400 on that. So I'm putting $28 to win 400. 28 wins you $400.08.
There we go. This
There
one's
you
going to
go.
hit.
There you go. Okay. Last thing then. Let's look at the boosts real fast. Any of the boosts stand out to you?
I didn't like either of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the PMI one, I'm worried about Eckler scoring. If it was just Kelsey and Henry, I could buy it, but
and even Henry makes like the Broncos defense is really good.
Yeah. And then I don't hate the Adam, CD Lamb, Lazard to get 40 yards each. I just don't like plus 175 for that. If they boosted it into like plus 250 range or something, like,
200 or higher, I probably would have done. But yeah, I didn't take any of them. I didn't like either one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Do you see this, or is this state specific? I'm curious, maybe because I'm here in Illinois. Justin Fields to rush for 70 and the Bears to win at plus 270.
That I don't have that. That one's not bad.
That one I think I'm going to take since I'm so for you Chicago fans, I am taking it's like a radio show that's sponsoring it. 670 The Score on AM, 670 AM radio. It's the 670 The Score boost. Justin Fields to rush for 70, which I think is doable because he's been clearing that, plenty of times lately. And the Bears to win. I do think the Bears have a chance to take this one, maybe even cover. So I'll take that for plus 270. So I am going to put $50 on the Chicago 670 The Score radio boost. So okay. All right. Any other last minute things, last minute thoughts, comments, anything else, Matt?
No, I'm good. It's always nice when the Eagles play tomorrow night. So it's always nice to just be able to stress free enjoy Sunday and not worry about like watching your team and then also trying to keep up with what's going on. So I can just follow my bets all day.
That's true. So, all right, guys. Well, let's hope for some fun fireworks in the Chiefs and Jags game and in the Bears Lions game. Let's get some touchdowns there, and let's get Saquon Barkley hopefully feasting against this terrible Texans run D today, guys. So, all right.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Okay, sounds good. Take it easy, guys.